Everybody's talking about the MLS, saying it's such a good league now. I don't think it is. I think it's still more of the same. And it's definitely just a retirement league. 6 or 7 years ago, that MLS All-Star game that we didn't watch because fuck it, it's MLS, was all ex-Premier League and La Liga and Serie A stars. It was Pirlo and Lampard and David Villa was there. It was all old European guys who just moved over and retired in the MLS.
I don't think that game would have been exciting otherwise. Like, you wouldn't have had any excitement. You would have had Americans would have shown up to American sports regardless. But yeah, the game for anybody else watching would have been so boring. And I think, yeah, they're just like, hey, you guys want to come hang out on a beach for a bit and play 90 minutes? Might as well. But I think, like, we were talking just a little bit about how it's got better. It got a little bit better, but then it's like we're talking about the retirement league thing. It gets a little bit better. Players come in, but then players retire and it goes back to the same. They go into North American Champions League and just get bullied by those clubs out of Mexico.
I was going to say, define better. Better than what? I mean, look where it started in the 90s. And then in the early 2000s, right? Like, define better. It was Beckham in 05 that was the first star to move over. And then you didn't see anything really until dumbass Italian there, Giovinco, couldn't make it off the bench for Parma, mid-table and then soon to be relegated club Parma in a proper league, and signs a massive deal with TFC. It becomes like the face of the franchise and the star. Do you remember when Jermaine Defoe went over there and was like, fuck this? And they did a player swap.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah, they did a player
swap. Did he go back to
Sunderland
after that too?
He went to Sunderland because they had Josie Altidore, the American, and he went over and became a star. And Michael Bradley, same thing. He was playing for Roma, and at the time, who was the American coach for the national team? It was the German guy that lost in 06. Klinsmann? Yeah, Klinsmann's like, the Americans need to be playing in Europe. That's where, like, for us to do well internationally, they need to be playing in Europe. And he goes and fucks off to TFC and becomes the captain there because, he was playing for Roma. He was better than Giovinco. He was playing for Roma, and he wasn't a sub. He started games.
Yeah, and you're telling me that you're going to trade Rome for somewhere else? Like, you're going to go live in North America in any city? I'll take Rome any day.
For Tirana?
Yeah, for Tirana.
And then you got the Americans complaining that they should be doing better internationally.
Yeah. Well, it is. They're more of their American players have now moved over. Like Pulisic with AC Milan, like that's a good place for him to be.
And that's what Klinsmann was saying, is get over to Europe. Serginho Dest, who I don't know where he is now, but he was also on loan in Milan, I believe. There was a lot of stories about Pirlo not being selected for his last World Cup there, or Euro. What year when he was playing in the MLS? And that was a bit of a head scratcher for people because, like, he's still Pirlo, but the Italian manager at the time was like, yeah, but look what league he's in, without so much as saying it.
Yeah. Or coaches are notorious for doing that too, where the older player moves over. They still probably have a good World Cup in them, but yeah, they just get overlooked because it's like, yeah, no, they're playing in the MLS now. We're not going to even look at it.
Toronto fans went nuts when Giovinco wasn't selected. Like, how can you not pick Giovinco? He couldn't make it off the bench for Parma. It doesn't matter if he's scoring. It wasn't even that phenomenal of numbers in the MLS comparatively to somebody in Europe, right? Like, it doesn't matter if he's scoring for you at TFC again against who? Chivas?
Yeah.
Friggin' San Jose Earthquake?
DC United.
DC United without Freddie Adu. There's a name drop. There's a throwback.
There's a throwback. Yeah.
Here's one for you. Gignac.
Yeah.
Gignac?
Yeah. He's still kicking. Los Tigres.
I was going to say the Mexican League. And he made the national team.
Yeah.
Now, he did dick, but he still made the national team. And he
still made it.
Versus all those other players, Europeans, that went to the MLS and didn't make the national team. It's a thoroughly boring league. This is the double-edged sword of Canadians and Americans going to play in Europe or South America or wherever. To develop their skills there, you're just going to continue with lackluster play and ability and half-assed talent here in North America, right? Because all the talent's going to go across the pond.
Across the pond. And yeah, the MLS doesn't have good drawing power with the exception of people who are a little bit past their prime. Because, yeah, there's nothing drawing. The game isn't great. So no one's going to go when they're killing it in Europe over to DC United and be like, yes, we're going to take this club to the top.
You think Wayne Rooney wanted to go to Washington?
I think he
rarely
did.
where you think he wanted to go.
Yeah, maybe not, but hey, there was probably the only club that was like, we'll let you manage. We'll let you do it.
I don't even think he managed there. Oh, I mean, he might have. Oh, I know that he did a Derby, but right, like that's the thing is you want it. You want the Miamis or the LAs, right? Like Gareth Bale, LAFC, half a season, and then was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna golf."
Yeah,
He was 33. He wasn't even that old.
Yeah, he's an interesting story. It's just from the sounds of it, the guy just didn't want to play football.
No, he was over it. I mean, when you've been playing probably since you were 4, right? They get you young in those academies. So you've been playing for the majority of your life, probably since you've had memories.
Yeah, and when you win 4 Champions League back to back, at some point you're gonna be like, all right, I've done everything. I'm done.
I've never been a big believer in the MLS is a good league or is becoming better. Messi just took him and his buddies and said, "Let's go to Miami and hang out on the beach, swim, play golf, whatever." And let's beat Real Salt Lake 6-0 while we're at it.
Yeah,
we'll
totally,
pick on these Uruguay. We'll pick on these Panama national team and these Chileans and these Mexicans that all come and play in the MLS.
Yeah. Seriously, just beating up on those small clubs, and then again they go into the North American Champions League, and all of a sudden they're just minnows again.
I'm not there with any of it. It's boring. It's dull. If you watch a highlight clip of the MLS, it's guys half-assed, like thunder shinning their way through 2 or 3 guys and then firing it wide about 10 feet or above the crossbar about 20 feet. Yeah, thunder shins.
That is incredible.
Have you never heard thunder shins?
I've never heard of it, but the second you said it makes so much sense. You can't make contact with your foot. You're just thunder shinning it.